Which are Fort Lauderdale's best neighborhood to live in and why these neighborhoods are considered one of the expensive neighborhoods to live in South Florida. What make this neighborhood that expensive? Let's talk. Fort Lauderdale is one of the best towns to live in South Florida. Why? Because it is one of the beach towns, and that's what South Florida is famous for, having the beach lifestyle, live close to beach. Then in Broward County, this one city is definitely one of the heat. And Fort Lauderdale is not just the famous among residents, but also famous among tourists. And that's why we get thousands of tourists just to visit Fort Lauderdale beach area. And Fort Lauderdale city, I'll consider as a beach town because it's more closer to the beach area in the east side of Broward County. The best benefit of living in this town is having this South Florida beautiful lifestyle and having communities which are no HOA community or having the low HOA communities, which is now getting difficult to get something in the west side of South Florida. Even though west side is still famous for single family houses, but the HOAs are making it difficult to live there. So we'll be discussing more of single family neighborhoods in Fort Lauderdale, which are the best one to consider to buy. So one of them is Imperial Point, is great neighborhood to live in. I'm going to take you that neighborhood because we have one property there. We have some investment properties actually close to Imperial Point, and that's where I thought of, show you guys like how the Imperial Point looks like actually. And also I'm going to take you to one of the beautiful property in Imperial Point. Imperial Point, before I take you, it is one of the neighborhood which is no HOA community, and it is very, very close to beach. Look at it in a map. You can literally bike to Fort Lauderdale. Also, it's close to highways too. So if you have a job in some other town, it is possible to live there. Now, I like to show you around the best neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale area where I am right now. It's called Imperial Point. Imperial Point is one of that which I love it because the price is not very expensive compared to what it offers, and plus you do have a possibility of getting on intercoastal. You can have your own boat, docks possible to get, and also the ocean is not too far from this. So if you check on the map, it's less than a mile from here, and plus there is no HOA, so you are not technically paying any maintenance cost if you are buying in Imperial Point. That's one of the main reasons I love it. So I'll take you the full 360-degree tour of this neighborhood, and I'll show you even the schools and church and what else stuffs are there around here. The highway, this highway, what you see, it's called US 1. This is one of the highway you will see in Fort Lauderdale area, because one of the disadvantage of living in Fort Lauderdale is the 95 or 75. Those highways are very, very far, and I'll show you that in a map, in a second, to make you understand how this city is geographically located, and that makes it a little bit of commute-wise hard. So not if you are really working in Fort Lauderdale, it makes sense a lot to live in Fort Lauderdale, but otherwise it's a little bit tough. So what people are doing, especially in this kind of older neighborhood where houses are built in 1950s, they are buying the older houses and trying to remodel. The one we are going to look at this under construction. And that's what they did. They wiped out the old house from the ground and built a new one. So looks like it's more L-shaped kitchen. Double doors.
Double pocket doors into the master closet, and then double pocket doors into the bathroom. 2 vanities, shower, and a tub. Toilets and a private space.
Okay, perfect. What would be this around square feet of this?
This room is 14 by 16, I believe.
Okay. See, this house also is almost new. Looks like that. A lot of newer houses, this particular house also is new. It have a boat, and look at this. This is older house. I'm talking about this kind of house also. You will see which is way older. The room and doors inside would be older too. So this property, what we are going to look at, that's actually custom built house. And when I talk about the custom built, where it's almost built house, but you can still pick and choose certain things. And while in a process, sometimes builder try to market that time, and it is possible to get something in this kind of no HOA communities, because they, when you are building something, it goes through a lot of rules and regulations. So people like to buy no HOA communities where there's a less regulation, at least from HOA. The CDE regulation they have to still follow. So I'm going to show you guys inside how the custom built house looks like in Fort Lauderdale area. So a lot of varieties of the houses you will find here. This is also no HOA community. You will find the older houses and some are remodeled too. The one I'm going to show you in this particular neighborhood, that's the huge houses. Very good property if you are looking something on the ocean. So that kind of property you can find it. It's, I believe, so built around 2009 if I'm not wrong. But let's check inside. How does it look like? Now I'm going to show you how 6.9 million single family home on Intercoastal, how does it look like? Let's check inside. So not only unobstructed luxury houses you can get here, but the location-wise is very lucrative because, the downtown is close by, Galleria Mall, shopping areas, the dining areas, everything is very close by. It's a very multicultural environment. Most of them are home buyers. Very few houses are rentals where they allow to do the Airbnb event. So the property what we looked at, that's also possible to do Airbnb because this communities has no HOA. So very much, a potential, community for rentals also for the high-end rent. And the schools are top rated in the area. And that's one of the other reasons the families prefer to live here. Beach is just in a walking distance, very close. And you can even keep your boat and go to the ocean pretty easy in this kind of neighborhood. So there are a lot of bungalow style homes you will find in Fort Lauderdale area, and those are, and some are even like latest one built around with the metal roof. So that lasts pretty long than the tile roofs, and a lot of people worry about the insurances when you buy in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. So when you have a metal roof, that gives you pretty much discount on insurance. Imperial Point average real estate prices are way expensive than West Side. So it starts around $400 per square foot, and it can go even up to $700 per square foot too. But there are some great opportunities to buy in one of those neighborhoods because houses here are older. It's like 1940s, 1950s built. A lot of people, what they do, they buy all that old looking houses, which are totally garbage, non-remodel. They try to wipe out from land and build a new construction. So that's the best way to build equity in Fort Lauderdale, and it is considered one of the expensive side, but still with the opportunity, because the HOA also is a big hurdle when you do the new constructions. If you have a HOA, they may not allow doing all these crazy things. But when there is no HOA, or some HOAs are there, but it's not kind of interfering because they just look at the common areas or they just look at the gate, things like that. Now, my second favorite neighborhood is called Coral Shores. Coral Shores is considered more expensive than Imperial Point because this is on Intercoastal and it's one of the very famous location. This is not very close to beach though, but still you can keep your boat. You can go straight from your water route to beach. And a lot of people do that. They have their own yachts, private boats, and it's one of the beautiful location also because this is close to State Road 7. Another best advantage of Coral Shore is the schools. Fort Lauderdale is tricky. Even though few neighbors are so amazing, but the zip code falls into not a great school zone. A lot of them, residents, they put their kids into private schools because the Pinecrest is very close. It's not less than even 2 miles. The neighborhoods which I'm mentioning, like from Imperial Point, is in a walking distance to Pinecrest. It is one of the best school in South Florida if you're considering private school. There are some others too, but I have actually another video on about the school if you are someone moving with kids and want to learn more about how the school system in South Florida, so public and private school, both I explain in that video, so try to check out them. By the way, talking about the schools, Coral Shores public schools itself is so amazing, and that's why it's considered one of the best neighborhoods. Plus the lifestyle, the houses there are variety houses. I've seen so many new construction going there, so it is one of the opportunity neighborhood where you can buy older house because the comparable values are going much more higher next couple of years, because imagine now whole neighborhood is kind of going into renovations in general. HOA, again, that's the advantage of living in there where their holding costs are less. Tax, again, is not that expensive than if you're moving from New York or Chicago, but the purchase price, it is a little bit higher compared to the west side. And that's why I said one of the expensive neighborhoods. It's not, there was a time you could buy around 500,000 or 550 in this kind of neighborhoods. I had my own clients buying there. Not a waterfront property, but somewhere, decent looking, less than 2,000 square foot in before pandemic. Nowadays, the prices are different. Even the older houses between 600 and 800,000 minimum, you would be able to buy there. But the comparable value, if you are building one of the luxury home, which I'm going to show you one of the house, like I visited there in Coral Shores, which is on Intercoastal, starts around 4 million. Then this house, which I'm going to show you, I think it's 6 million or something. And that is not even brand new construction. So imagine if you build something now, is how much value it's going to give you in this neighborhoods. So now we are in Coral Reach neighborhood. This is also part of Fort Lauderdale, but it is a little bit on the northern side. And this neighborhood actually very close to State Road 7 too. So I came from Imperial to here. It took me almost 20 minutes. So where we are right now, it's called Coral Reach neighborhood. And what I was going to show you, the custom built houses. Here also you will find, look at this. This is under construction, this particular property. So a lot of people worries about, especially when you buy a house in Florida, that is there going to be flood issues or not in the neighborhoods like this. So let me tell you some insights as a Floridian. Okay, I cannot claim every area is like that, but the neighborhood like this will have a less probability of flood, even though it's close to Fort Lauderdale. And also the houses are built very on an elevated form. Fully custom built and some are not. So it all depends. And those are all the things you need to look for when you buy here, especially the 2-story houses. So here we end Coral Reach neighborhood. This is not a very huge neighborhood, but it does have a lot of inside roads. Yeah, it's this kind of neighborhood is considered upscale luxury style neighborhood where you get to see unobstructed intercoastal views. Now, my another last favorite is Dolphin Isle. Dolphin Isle is very, very close. It's in a walking distance to Fort Lauderdale Beach area. Fort Lauderdale is big, like Fort Lauderdale Beach. Don't just consider main beach area, but there are a lot of access, public access, even private access also on Fort Lauderdale if you look at this map. And I'm going to show you some drone shots where you get some understanding how Fort Lauderdale looks like. And it's a big, like US 1 highway. It's large. I mean, it's long, basically, on the beach. So US 1, this one where Dolphin Isle is located, it's not towards downtown, but it's more on northern side. But it's one of my favorite because it's again on an intercoastal and no HOA community. I like that neighborhood because this one has a lot of layout. So if you're even looking right now to buy something which is already renovated, that's also possible to get in Dolphin Isle. And no HOA is one of my favorites. As I told you, I've been keep talking about that because I love living in one of those neighborhoods where you can do your own custom homes. You can build whatever you want to do it. If you're building like around 4 million to 10 million, then why would you like to follow the plan what the HOA would give you? So this is the best advantage living on intercoastal communities, especially in a Fort Lauderdale area, which is kind of rare to find in Miami side. So Fort Lauderdale is one of my favorite town to live if you are considering to live on a beach or on intercoastal. If you have watched this video up till now, then definitely you have got some kind of value, I assume. Please try to subscribe or show some love on comments or like that button because that will give me a little motivation to make more videos like this. I'm not a full-time content creator because I have a real estate team running in South Florida area, but this kind of videos I'm making for someone like you who are looking to relocate, you're local and want to explore some other areas of Florida, want to talk about the real estate part, pros and cons of living more in details, then this channel will give you a lot of value. And thank you if you are visiting my channel again. And I love to provide more valuable content and get connect with you sometime in future. Thank you.